50% of Gen Z has either reported to have either been in a situationship or who are currently in a situationship. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for tuning back in. Glad you could make it. Those of you new, welcome. Thanks for tuning in today. Obviously, we're talking about situationships. Guys, situationships are a waste of time. They're absolutely a waste of time. Situationships are kind of sort of in a relationship, kind of not. You know, it's like wearing toe shoes. Okay, they're not shoes, but they kind of are shoes. There's something to cover your feet, which is something socks do, but they're not fucking shoes. What's wrong with wearing this? What is wrong with wearing this? Okay. Don't look at how worn down the tread is. All right, I've had these for years, but these are shoes, boots, but shoes. Okay, shoes. Where's the fucking shoes? I have animosity towards toe shoes. They're not shoes. Wear some Crocs, man. You'll be less weird. Don't be weird. But listen, ultimately, these situationships are going nowhere. They're going nowhere. So why put time into it? And listen, we know the kinds of people that are in these situationships. Guys that are being led on because they're hoping for the day that Miranda or Jessica gives them a shot. Those of you who watch my videos, you know that. You know why I made that joke. And the chicks that are getting pumped and dumped by the 1%ers. Okay. That's tough, man. That's real tough. But it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. Listen, people who respect themselves and have a vision on where they want to go, they're not going to waste their time with situationships. Right? And so let's talk about it, guys. Because I want you guys to avoid situationships. All right. So obviously, you meet a chick. First of all, don't meet a woman on a dating app. Don't do it. It's a waste of time. It may be different overseas, but here, don't do it. It's a waste of time. Honestly, dating over here is becoming a waste of time because more people can't really seem to find decent relationships. That's why the rise of situationships are so popular now. But to avoid situationships, right off the bat, you meet somebody organically, right, in a public event. You let your intentions know. You let your intentions be known right off the bat. Right off the bat. And you want to know their intentions as well, right off the bat. And it's not paying their rent. Or taking them and their kids to McDonald's. Listen, guys, we've heard the stories. We have heard the stories, all right? So, you want to have a vision. There are quite a few things, right? Vision on where you want to go, where you want to end up, right? Overall, there's a few things that you must agree on, and this has to happen right off the bat for you to even go on a couple of dates. There must be an agreement on morals, values, religion, if there is religion, and direction and vision. Obviously, for my boys, you must already have that down pat. Direction and vision, especially. Where in the next 5 years, where in the next 10 years, 15, 20 years. You want a good long-term plan, I guess, right? Or I should say direction, idea of where you ultimately want to go as far as you and a family. For my ladies, look, or for my lady, for the one woman that watches this channel, Look, you want to respect that vision, right? And you want to figure out if you agree with that direction, or if you agree with excuse me, if you agree with the direction and vision. And you have to make that decision very, very, very soon. Very soon, right? So, you guys agree on that? Cool. Go on a few dates. Figure out if you guys like each other. And listen, and this is more for my ladies. Girl, woman, lady. don't don't get involved with someone whom you want to check off every single box. Don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. You're going to be in this never-ending cycle of with the rest of them. And you're going to be miserable, and you're going to be crying, and you're going to be drinking a box wine, and you're going to put all of this out for all of us to laugh at you on TikTok. Don't do it. Don't don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. Uh what's important what is what I just said. Okay? Morals, values, vision, direction, and religion if there is any. That's the main important thing. We have gotten into this fantasy mindset where we imagine this kind of person that we want to spend the rest of our life with, and it doesn't exist. Doesn't exist at all. And that's why a lot of people find themselves single. Is because they're expecting way too much, way more than what reality will ever give them. So, people are individuals for a reason. They have their own personality, they have their own traits, they make their own decisions, right? What's the purpose of getting into a relationship with someone who's an individual if all they ever do is act the way you want them to? Because they're everything that you wanted, right? It's like it's like taking the apple from the forbidden tree. You have all of this knowledge now, but you have no idea what to do with it. And a lot of women really become confused because they have everything that they wanted at that point in time, and they get bored with it. That's the reason why guys who are mysterious end up drawing the women in a lot more than these guys who give them everything right off the bat. One, never do that ever, ever. And listen, guys, it's the same thing for us, right? We have this idea, right, of what a woman, of the kind of woman that we want, but it's kind of the opposite. We accept whatever. And that's a lot of the times that's worse than the way that the women handle things. Sometimes having too high of a standard is better than having no standards at all, because at that point you open up yourself for abuse, for abuse of any kind, abandonment, right? Rejection. And so, again, this is why I tell you morals, values, religion, vision, and direction. I'm going to keep hitting on these things because you guys need to understand this. This is how to make things successful. So, anyways, I'm rambling on. Go on a few dates. Okay? It doesn't have to be 10, 15. It doesn't have to be it should definitely be more than one or two. Absolutely, for sure. But go on a few dates and then get to know each other's families. sooner than later. You want to know if the family you're going to be getting into is going to be a good mesh with yours. Obviously, if you guys agree on morals, values, religion, direction, and vision, it's a good chance that your families will agree on a lot of things, and bringing these two families together is going to be a good benefit for the both of you. So, get to know each other's families. For my boys, get to know their fathers. That's really important because the way her father acts is the way that she's going to expect you to act. So, if her father is the A1 type guy who takes care of shit, gets everything done, that's how she's going to expect you to be. And if you're not that guy, you better either you better get that shit in gear, or you better take some time away from her. That way you can become that guy. But then again, if you are in this situation, you shouldn't really be talking to this girl in the first place, because you need to be in the position where you can do that. I understand it's a really shitty economy out there. It's terrible. A guy, it's really hard for a guy to be able to provide for a family, let alone himself today. I understand that. But there are opportunities out there. You have to take opportunities. You have Etsy, you have Amazon, you have DoorDash, Uber Eats. Uh, there are so many things that you can do. Like, listen, guys, you know, I've made money off of these things, and I'm transitioning into making dioramas, because doing this is a little bit, I mean, it's quite a bit demanding on my body. So sitting down and making dioramas, that's not too physically demanding, but that's a way that I can make money, right? Extra money on the side. Listen, there are opportunities, right? But you also have to build the skills and see the opportunities, and pull the trigger on that, right? So get to a position to where she sees you as she sees her father. But also the other side of that too is, if you're the A1 type that takes care of shit and gets everything done, and her father isn't, there's going to be some conflict. There's going to be some conflict, because obviously you and her dad aren't going to agree on things. So watch out for that. But if both of you guys are the A1 type, both of you guys get shit done, you guys are going to get along, that's going to be good. So, unfortunately, a lot of women growing up don't have their fathers, which isn't necessarily a deal breaker, which is why you should ask questions right off the bat. Where do you see yourself going? What do you want out of a family? What where where do you fit in inside a family? What do you believe your duties are? What do you believe that a man's duties are? How do you see men? Right? These kinds of questions. Don't ask her for a social. Don't ask her why the sky is blue. Don't ask her what her favorite color is. I mean, you can ask her what her favorite color is, right? But have more questions. Have more of a deeper conversation than surface level shit. Right? The first date is to really get to know somebody, and you can't really get to know somebody if you're asking them what their fucking color is. Excuse me, what their favorite color is. What? So, again, figure out if they're going to be a good fit for you. Figure out if their family is going to be a good fit with your family. Are you guys going to mesh well? So, after that, go on a few dates. I would say, a couple weeks to, maybe a month or two. You don't want to go over a month or two, because at that point it's going to die off. And there's going to be a lot of questions as to why hasn't this thing started. You know, there was a lot of bullshit that was going around in the manosphere and the red pill space, whatever the fuck you want to call it, about, you know, vetting and waiting 4 to 6 months before a relationship. Number one, why the hell are you waiting to begin with? If you want something, go and get it. There shouldn't be a time label on things. Why? Because you're an individual and she's an individual. You guys are coming together to form a cohesive unit. If you want to give a time frame, then give a time frame, but give a time frame right off the bat. If we were to continue on this path, listen, and for my boys, this is where you really shine, okay? You're the one that takes initiative for the for almost everything, actually, for approaching her, taking her out, talking to her about relationships, even marriage, asking her to get married. I wouldn't recommend marriage, but we take initiative, and women should and honor that. In overseas, they do. Over here is a different story, which is why I tell you guys, dating over here is definitely a waste of time, and I wouldn't do it. But some guys can't really go overseas. I myself am one of them. I can't go overseas. I don't have the money for that. So, but then again, I'm not really planning on dating right now, anyways. Right? I'm still building myself up. You know, I'm still grinding, putting videos out on YouTube. I'm still grinding, trying to learn how to make dioramas to be able to sell awesome bases for models and stuff like that. But you know, I'm still building myself, so I'm not in the position right now to go overseas and look for, you know, a good prospect for a wife so I can start a family. You know, a lot of guys are in my situation, but when you do, right off the bat, right off the bat, give a time frame. Let them know, hey, look, I'd really like to spend, you know, a little bit of time getting to know you, right? And then here's my time frame for where I would like to, right, get into a relationship. It's up to her to agree or not. And she's more than free to, right? But a guy that already has a vision and a direction on where he wants to go and what a family looks like for him, what things are going to look like, women who respect men are going to respect the shit out of that. Because then they know at that point, okay, this guy has things handled. I don't have to worry about anything. The only thing I got to do is make sure he's content and he's happy. And so that's why we got to take the reins and we got to do all this shit. Okay? You can't be the head of household, right? If you come to her and like, "Oh, well, when do you want to get into a relationship?" Never ever do anything like that. Ever. It's part about making your intentions known. So, uh again, the 4 to 6 months is bullshit. Bullshit. If you want to get into a relationship, you make that shit known right off the bat. If she agrees to it, awesome. If not, just move on to the next one. No harm, no foul. So, uh, it's the whole purpose of relationships before marriage, right? You're vetting someone. You can't vet someone before you vet somebody. That doesn't make any sense. So, seen quite a few situations where people would, guys that I knew would sit on their hands and wait for the girl to ask what's going on. Why aren't we? And are what are we? How many guys have been asked that? Obviously, for my guys who care You're wondering, well, I was waiting for you to. Why are you waiting? Don't wait, man. A lot of guys fall into this bad advice, this bad information that you should wait until she comes to you asking you for a relationship. What? No, absolutely not. No. It shows that you have no drive, no initiative, no ambition. Why would someone respect that? So, and listen, part of why situationships are so popular is because people obviously give their all into it without really expecting a whole lot. Well, I mean, either that or they're expecting too much. It's either not they're not expecting a lot or they're expecting too much. So, and this is why when I say expecting too much, right? These guys are burning through their wallets. They're giving all of this attention, throwing away their self-respect. And for those who are not expecting a lot, are the chicks that are giving guys the time of day who they would have never even looked in their direction before. And so they give their bodies to these guys who they don't respect, they don't care for, they don't like, and ultimately ends bad because then they begin to hate themselves because of the situation that they find themselves in and the guy that they find themselves with, right? So what don't put yourself in this situation. Don't ever put yourself in this situation. Have a good direction and a good vision and a good plan. Well, I guess that would be good direction and good vision to understand where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to put in to a family. And this is right off the bat, guys. Right off the bat. Of course, you want to know their favorite color and if they wear shoes or toe shoes. Okay? But there are more important questions that you need to ask. Right? And it goes deeper than who do you vote for? Okay? What do you think about men? What do you think about women? What do you think about children? How how did you handle your most embarrassing moment in life? Did you learn anything from it? What's the biggest mistake that you made? What did you do to fix that situation? Stuff like that, right? You want to know on a deeper level who this person is so that you can get a good idea on how they're going to act within the relationship. And don't be afraid to ask these questions. These are perfectly reasonable questions. Guys, look, a lot of you are way too apprehensive about asking the real questions. And because a lot of women, they don't like accountability today. They don't they are accountability is poisonous. And so by asking them these questions, they begin to be held accountable and then she stops talking to you. So, which is good for you because then you dodge a bullet. So, look at it that way. But always ask these questions, at least on the first couple dates. And listen, do not text and text and text and text. Do not have a conversation through text. No. No, 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 no. If you want to have a conversation, okay, cool. I'll set up a time for us to talk, either on the phone for, you know, 30 minutes to an hour, or, you know, right before bed, or, uh, you know, set up a time where you guys can go, you know, on a short walk. Face to face interaction is always going to be way more valuable than it is through text. So don't text so much. Have a conversation face to face. Get to know someone on a deeper level right off the bat. Understand where they want to go, what they want to do, what's their vision, their direction. Do their morals and values agree with you? Do they have the same religion? Do they have a religion? All of these things are important. And the sooner you ask them, better off it's going to be for you. Does their family mesh well with yours? Is there going to be some conflict? What do you do if there is conflict? I've been in that situation, and it's it's a huge headache, that's for sure. It really is. But what do you do about it? Well, I mean, you you don't get involved. You don't get involved with that family. Listen, I I don't have all the answers, but the answer that I can give you is that if the families don't agree, there must be some kind of compromise. There must be some kind of talk, right, to come to some agreement or resemblance of that. Or I mean, or it's going to fail. Families are a huge part of dating, and if families don't agree, it's almost a death sentence, really, especially in more traditional environments. So make sure you keep that in mind. All right, guys? Especially for my boys. Especially for my boys. You're the head of household. And listen, if other families are butting heads, that's going to come to your house eventually. Eventually. I mean, it matters for women too, obviously, because women have their own social pressures when it comes to, right, prospects for husbands or boyfriends. You know, since I don't recommend getting married, or at least here in the West, I'm not exactly sure about that whole shtick overseas, but I will say it for over here in the West: don't get married. Anyways, uh, it does matter for you guys too, because family is a really big part of a woman's life, right? Because, you know, she wants to dedicate time to her family and prosper that. But uh, obviously, this channel is more for men, so for my boys out there, pay attention to that shit. So, and time constraints, that shit does not matter so much. Look, if you have to take 4 to 6 months to really get to know somebody, okay, but it shouldn't really take you that long. That's pretty slow. That's really slow. It shouldn't take you that long to figure out if you see a future with somebody. I get it. Look, you can be in this rose tinted, view of things, but you really don't want to be in that mindset anyways. Don't get physically, or excuse me, I mean, yeah, physically attached through sex, but you don't want to get so emotionally attached, especially if you're just going on a couple dates. I don't sleep with anybody. It's for both men and women. Don't sleep with anybody before you're in a relationship. That, I mean, that's obvious, but it's crazy that we have to have this conversation. But don't sleep with anybody that you're not in a relationship with. Why give something sacred that's that's not gonna respect that? Maybe they do at the time, but there's no commitment there. That's what I mean. So don't give your body away. Listen, especially for my girls, for my girl, for my woman, for my lady. Don't give your body away without commitment. Absolutely. Don't do it, man. Come on. Don't do it. It's it's one thing if you're in a relationship and you do give your body and then they up and leave. On one hand, listen, you got to be accountable for your decisions. You got in the relationship with this person. You were supposed to vet them as best as you could, and things happen, right? So take accountability for your decisions, and also sometimes shit happens, man. People are shitty. People can lie to you. People bait and switch all the time, man or woman. So that's why I tell you these things right off the bat. And if they're lying, you'll know. You will know. And test. Absolutely test. 100%. Test each other. Absolutely test each other. Right? Don't be malicious about it, right? But test each other. For my ladies, oh, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Right? Because you're looking for a leader, right? You're looking for a capable man, right? What do you think of this? I need some advice. What do you think? Okay. If he's a leader, he's going to tell you exactly what to do. He's going to tell you exactly where he wants to go. He'll tell you exactly where the both of you are going for the date. For my boys, listen, we're going to go here. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. What do you think? And it's up to her to disagree or agree, right? Is she going to respect that? If she respects it, cool, good to go. If not, obviously, drop her, move on to the next one. Which is probably what you're going to be doing more often than not here in the West, but it is what it is. Anyways, guys, I'm kind of rambling on. Um, you don't have to wait 4 to 6 months for a relationship. Okay. Time really depends on who is willing to spend it. So if you want something, go get it. Have a vision, a direction. Someone's willing to respect it, they'll respect it. So I hope you were able to take something from this video, and I hope that you learned something. And if you did, guys, please support the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that, guys. This channel is growing. So much engagement for you guys, and I really appreciate it. So that being said, guys, thank you for all you do. You guys are rock stars. Let's continue to grow this community, and let's continue to just blow the roof off this thing. All right, guys. So that being said, please, 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 guys, take care of yourselves. Okay. You know, when I got married, I gained 60 pounds, right, of fat. A lot of it went up here, but but uh, and now I have to lose all of that, and I am. I've already lost what, over 10 pounds, right, of fat, while also gaining, you know, a decent bit of muscle as well. So, listen, guys, it's doable. It absolutely is, but you have to keep that mindset that you can keep tackling it. You can keep going, and you'll see the progress, and that'll give you motivation. But take care of yourselves. Okay, and you don't neglect your mind as well. Don't sit here. Don't tell yourself when it's so hard to get out of bed in the morning where you can't find the motivation to really breathe anymore, that it's not a problem. That is a huge problem, and that's something that you should seek help with. Okay, don't neglect your mental health. Right. So continuously work on your headspace as well as your physical body. Put yourself through exercise. I'm telling you, going to the gym every day, so exciting to me. It's so exciting because one, I'm building myself. I'm building myself and I'm making myself the best man that I can be physically. So look at it that way, guys. All right. And take care of each other too. Absolutely take care of each other. If someone calls you 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and they need you to pick up, listen, pick up, pick up. I've had a lot of people call me 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and their lives are falling apart. You know, I used to have a friend of mine who isn't a friend anymore, but he would call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, uh, breaking down, having a panic attack from, you know, his time in service. Loud noise would happen, and he would just go into a flashback, and he needed to call somebody. And me being a guy that he served with, right, called me up. So you never know what someone's really going through in the moment. So be there for them. Be there for them when they need you to be. It can save a life. That being said, guys, thanks for tuning in as always. You guys are a treat. I'll talk to you soon.